Everyone, Janet here from the 4-H office. We are going to do a great fun crafting project today for our afternoon fun activity, and we are actually going to make Modge Podge plates. These are dollar store crafts, don't cost more than $1.50 each to make. I actually have some salad plates, sandwich plates from the dollar store that cost $1 a piece, and I have some fabric, some holiday fabric, and what we're going to do is create a fun holiday plate that you could put cookies on for gift giving or whatever use you have for them. You can use holiday prints, you can use seasonal prints. If you have a quilter in your life that loves quilting type fabric, you can use that. Whatever you want, just make sure it's a cotton-based fabric that will take our Modge Podge. So for today's activity, you're going to need your table covered because we are playing with Modge Podge. You're going to need at least 1 or 2 glass plates. You can get these at the dollar store, Walmart, garage sales. If you have some old plates kicking around in your cupboard, just make sure they're not antiques. And you can also do this with bowls and cups and glass vases, candle holders as well. You will need Modge Podge. I have the regular, normal, original Modge Podge. You can use any type of Modge Podge. They even make Modge Podge that's dishwasher safe. This project right now, not dishwasher safe. You're going to need a foam brush to brush your Modge Podge onto your plate. You will also need a very sharp pair of scissors that will make a clean cut. So fabric shears or just a new pair of scissors that haven't been used for everything else. In addition to that, you'll need a piece of your favorite fabric that's cut to the dimensions of your plate. It can overlap. You will have scraps. We just don't want a huge piece. And what you're going to do is kind of, to get started, set your fabric out and then figure out how you want your plate centered. If we want like Santa's face in the center, or if you have like a floral pattern, to make sure that's right in the center of the plate as well. So we're just going to kind of make sure first my plate is clean, that I don't have any little goobers on the back side. And that I have it centered where I want it to get the best picture on the bottom of the plate. So once I figure that out, what I'm going to do is flip my plate upside down and get brushing it with Modge Podge. We want a nice even cover over the whole back side of it. So you're just going to brush on. You can either pour some on your work surface or just dip right out of the container like I do. And just brush. Now you don't want it extremely thick, but we do want a nice even coat. If it's thick, it might bubble a little bit more than what you really want. So get a nice even coat on. Making sure that we go all the way to the edges, but not over the edges onto the front of the plate. If you do get some Modge Podge on there, no worries. We'll just wipe that off real quick before it starts drying. So, nice and quick, even. Modge Podge on. Set my brush to the side. Now my material has a little bit of a fold in it. You can iron that ahead of time if you want. I'm actually just going to work it out with my fingers once I put the Modge Podge on. So I'm centering my plate where I want it. I'm going to flip my plate over and I'm just going to work all the folds out, the bubbles out with my fingers. If you had a wallpaper roller or some sort of craft roller, you could use that as well. But you're just going to slowly and carefully work all the bubbles out. We don't want any bubbles. We want the fabric to glue directly to our plate, nice and even. Now, regular Modge Podge, not dishwasher safe unless you seal it or use the dishwasher safe Modge Podge. But if you're going to use these plates for cookies, you can clean the front of the plate, wipe it off, wash the front, just being careful not to get the back too wet. So once I have all the bubbles out, and it's nice and smooth and flat, I'm going to flip real quick. And I noticed that my edges aren't quite sealed all the way, but I'm going to take care of that once I trim. I'm actually going to trim and angle the plate and just trim in a circle right around the edge. This is why it's really important to have sharp shears. If you're not totally even and straight, that's okay. We will fix that once our plate is totally dry. But you're just going to simply go around the edge of the plate and glue it once we're done cutting. Okay, so I finished cutting and I noticed that my edges aren't totally tapped down. So what I'm just going to do is take my brush with my wedged edge and just very carefully go around the edges to tack them down. Now we want to make sure our edges are tacked down before the next step, because the next step is going to be a little bit messier. Making sure that all of our bubbles, if we put any in while we were turning our plate, are worked out. Making sure our edges are sealed and tapped down, taped down, glued down, tacked down. All right, time for the next step. The next step is to take the plate, which is upside down, and to put Modge Podge all on the outside to create a protective shell. So we're just going to evenly distribute paint on our Modge Podge. We don't want a lot of thick bubbles on this because we want it to dry all even and to look like it's been shellacked, kind of. So make sure you cover the whole plate, even the edges, just not over the edges, with your Modge Podge. Now, if you wanted to, you could try some iron-on transfers on the front of your fabric before you attach it to your bowl. You could also do different patchworks if you wanted to on your bowl. Kind of get a patchwork style look to it. So once you have the whole outside covered with Modge Podge, what you're going to do is just let it dry overnight. It will be dry to the touch. If you read the bottle on the Modge Podge, it tells you exactly how long it takes for it to completely harden and set. And once you're done, make sure you wash your brush out with soap and water so that doesn't get set up. So for more projects, visit us on Shenango County 4-H on YouTube and on our Facebook. Hope you have a great day.